people talk big three, but the big three thing has never really worked. And you say, well, what happened in Miami? That wasn't really a big three.
Hold on. Before that, I had a good pause. Look at that. That's how we all feel about that statement. Miami's not a big three. All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. Hope you all having a good day so far. So let's make this short. Yes, I've heard about what Rich Paul said about the Miami Heat not being a big three, and I haven't actually heard his words though. So I hear, I've heard murmurs about it, and in the comments, you guys have been livid about what he said. I was gonna avoid it, but after so many requests, let's just check this out. This is ESPN. I don't know if I get away with this without being, flagged or claimed or whatever, but it doesn't matter. Let's just do this and see what happens. So I found the section, and it's when he's talking about, they're talking about Kevin Durant leaving the Suns. And this is what's going to segue into a big three conversation. So I found it. I haven't watched it. Honestly, I watched about like 15 seconds of it. But this is before they started talking about the Miami Heat. So let's get into it. Here we go. Everyone, like the video. I appreciate y'all. And I'm linking the original video, which is directly from ESPN. I'm going to link that down below in the description for you guys. All right, everyone. Let's see what this is all about.
Year span. Excited to see what happens with Kevin Durant. Because remember all the excitement whenever he went to Phoenix. Here we go. Yeah. That's going to be it. I mean, yeah, you're right. Everywhere. But whenever he went to Phoenix, it was, here we go. Him, Booker, in Phoenix, going to be the team that's going to lead the Suns back. And then now it's just not.
But it's not just about names, right? You got to have cohesiveness. You have to have, obviously, it's a team thing. So, what that depth looks like, how those guys actually fit the mold.
And it was at this point where I stopped it, and I'm like, oh, I see where he's going. He's gonna use that to belittle Chris Bosh in some way or another.
The camaraderie within the locker room and things like that. Losing obviously hurts everything. Winning heals a lot of different wounds. And so, look, the names on the back of the jersey is one thing. We've seen it not work in other instances. 20 years ago, it didn't work. When the Lakers had all the names, they walked into Detroit and they was beat 4-1 in the finals. So that's not the end all be all. I always love a big two. I don't really love a big three. I don't really. People talk big three, but the big three thing has never really worked. And you say, well, what happened in Miami? That wasn't really a big three.
Hold on. Before that, I had a good pause. Look at that. That's how we all feel about that statement. Miami's not a big three, but also it did work for Boston.
There was 3 guys that went in the lottery, and they did really well individually on their team. So they put up big numbers and had big accomplishments. But when you think about it, Bosh was the ultimate professional. He took a back seat, and he played a role in which, because he had such a high IQ and he was such a professional as an individual, his approach to everything is what made that work. When you look in Boston, okay, you can say Ray Allen and Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce was a big three. Again,
they were
about names, but
the idea of a big three is if you're a star on your own team, that's all it takes. So if you were a star on your team and now you've joined with other stars, if that number amounts to 3 stars, like Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, Ray Allen, all 3 stars on their teams, LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh, all 3 stars on their team, they joined together. This is now a big three. Phoenix Suns are dealing with it right now. Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, and Bradley Beal. 3 stars of their own individual teams joined together into one. Whether it's success or it's a failure, it doesn't matter. It's still a big three.
But the way that offense was ran, Rondo's capability during that time, it was a lot different. When you've seen people go for that, it never really worked. And I've had this conversation with several different, owners of teams, and having this debate whether you go big three, whether you not go big three. I like a big two and depth is what I like. That seems to be a winning pedigree.
I mean, the irony is that I agree with him. I like a big two with depth, but I completely disagree with his BS take about Miami not being a big three. it doesn't matter how you use the players, how you use the stars. The fact that you have 3 stars on that team together makes it a big 3. So Chris Bosh taking a back seat, hey, he did that to win, but he is still a star. And anywhere else he would have gone during that time, he would have been a star.
People to buy in. We talk about that Olympic team, and it's like you got all these superstars that are just doing their role, doing their job. Tatum not even
but
playing.
how many of them played big? I mean, you look at the effort that Devin Booker made. He starred in a row on that team. But on that team coming in there, you have this approach already to know that this is what I have to do. It's very hard to get guys to do that on a team that I'm a max player on, so I should be this player, right? And then you have the people around them and the comments being made. It's just, it's all about the mindset and your approach. So, but I prefer, again, I don't want to go into team ownership or run a team, but if I was to do that, my focus would be a big 2 depth, guys with a professional attitude and approach, guys that want to start in a row and that are selfless night in and night out and giving a valiant effort on both ends of the floor night in and night out. And that normally equates to winning. Mm-hmm. I've been a part of winning teams for many years, whether it's through high school, in the pros, been around it for many years. That equates to winning for sure.
So I agree with him there because I just think of Laker teams right off the bat. And I think of the Kareem and Magic Lakers, big 2 and a bunch of awesome role players, Shaq and Kobe with a bunch of awesome role players, and then Kobe and Pau with a bunch of awesome role players. You could even go to 2020 and say LeBron, AD, and then a bunch of awesome role players. I'm a big fan of the big 2, but once again, I'm not going to get distracted. He's full of shit when it comes to what he's talking about, what is and what isn't a big 3.
Equates to winning within an environment
it's belittling to Chris Bosh, which is what I don't like. I just released a reaction a couple of days ago talking about how Chris Bosh is not appreciated enough because of the role he played in Miami, and he was willing to do that to win. And then this is being said. That's why I say these kinds of things, because it's ridiculous the amount of disrespect that gets thrown Chris Bosh's way.
What you guys have built in business as well.
Yeah, everything. I think you get everybody bought in. Obviously, that is the best for the entire team. You look at what Boston's doing right now, right? That's Tatum and Brown, and then everybody just kind of bought in around that.
No doubt.
And they have selfless. Pritchard's selfless.
Yeah.
We know what Holiday brings to the table. Derek White, we've seen what he did, in the Olympic team and also in Boston. Just a selfless mentality. Look at Al Horford.
Yeah. Horford.
Again, been in the league for so many years, a champion. Selfless, and so that is a winning pedigree. It just is.
And then even if you go back, that's how the Spurs won so many championships. Like they had.
Ginobili could have started on any team in the NBA.
Yeah, it's true.
He embraced the role coming off the bench as a 6th man, but he finished the game, and he was unbelievable. So again, we've seen this work time and time again, and I guarantee you, ask any GM, any winning coach, any winning owner, they'll tell you the same thing.
Well, let's talk about Big 2 that there is now in Los Angeles, but it used to look very different. That guy...
All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop it right there because that was the point of this video, was just to address what was being said about the Miami Heat Big 3. I 100% call BS. This is the same stuff that he always does. So Rich Paul is always just twisting and turning narratives in order to make LeBron James look good. What's the big picture here? Pretend like the Miami Heat was not a big 3. Therefore, when we talk about LeBron was ring chasing and he didn't win the right way, it'll be like, oh no, it's like a big 2 between him and Wade, just like all these other big 2s that we respect. That's the big picture. So guys, don't get distracted with the I'm sorry for my language, but with the bullshit that's going back and forth between camps. That's where the distraction is. The big picture is he just wants to prop up LeBron and make it look like he was never part of a big 3. That way, there's more respect put on his championships than most of us give him. That's all it is. That's all it is. So if you believe it, believe it. If you don't believe it, don't believe it. Me, I don't buy it. I don't believe it. I know that was a big 3. That was the biggest big three I've ever seen, you know? And then the one that comes after that would be in Brooklyn, the Brooklyn big three that fell on its face. And that one, I mean, Kyrie, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. But that one just collapsed on itself, just like the Suns one did. But the most legit like big three I've ever seen that was just crazy box office names was that Miami Heat big three. So it is what it is. I hear a liar lie, and it's just like, yeah, okay, you're just lying. It doesn't change anything that I think. It doesn't change what I believe, what I've seen with my own eyes. So Rich Paul doing his thing, trying to ruffle the feathers, get people arguing, and that's my take, guys. I'm dipping out. Hopefully this gets posted and it doesn't get blocked, but we'll see. Anyways, guys, I'm out. Thank you so much for watching. Like the video if you haven't done it yet. It helps out a lot. And subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. Everybody, I will see you in the comments. Does what Rich Paul said change anything about what you think about the legacy of LeBron James? Let me know down below. We'll have a talk about it. All right, everyone. Peace out. And I almost forgot. Be water, my friends.